Divine beings, hi. How's everyone today? I'm doing wonderful on this rainy day. It started out as a sunny day, but now it's rainy. And I think overnight it rained. Like we had thunderstorms where I'm located. So it looks like the rest of the day is going to be rainy, which I'm cool with that. I love when it's spring, summer, and it's rainy. I feel like those are the best rains because you can, take in all of the sense of nature through the warm, air. So it's raining today. So I'm enjoying the views of the rain, the water, hydrating the earth, making everything more green. And the animals get to drink and Mother Earth gets her hydration so that she can continue to sprout and provide for her babies, us included, right? 122, as I said that. I hope everyone is well and that you are having a good day, a good night, morning, wherever you are on this beautiful green earth. You guys may be able to actually hear the rain, so that'll be a nice addition to the message. Again, today I'm going to be talking about soul contracts because this is the week to discuss those. I wanted to talk a little bit about each one and go in as much as I can about each one of them. But yeah, so that's what we are continuing to discuss today. So I'll go ahead and get started. So, soul contracts. Now, I wanted to start with the first of the three that we discussed. We talked about karmic soulmates, we talked about soulmates, and then we talked about twin flames. So let's talk about the karmic soulmates today. All right, so the karmic soulmates are not necessarily meant to be together long term. Their primary purpose is to teach you difficult life lessons, break old patterns, and trigger personal growth. While they bring intense passion and familiarity, these connections are often meant to be partnerships. The destiny of a karmic relationship generally falls into one of three outcomes. Okay? So the lesson is learned. This is the most common outcome, that the lesson is learned. These connections frequently feel like a roller coaster swinging between highs and lows. Once the necessary spiritual lessons are absorbed and the karmic debt is settled, the relationship usually ends when the lesson is learned. Okay? Usually ends when the lesson is learned. When the lesson is not learned, of course, it's going to continue. Healing through boundaries. Okay? Sometimes the ultimate spiritual lesson of a karmic relationship is learning to walk away. Establish strong boundaries and choose a healthier environment. Evolution into a lasting partnership. While rare, some karmic relationships can endure if both partners consciously engage in deep inner work and change toxic dynamics. The bond can evolve into a stable and respectful long-term partnership. So let's talk about what the purpose, just the main key here. The main key is ultimately staying in a karmic relationship isn't a requirement for spiritual growth. If the dynamic becomes persistently unhealthy, toxic, abusive, leaving. Okay, so I'm going to start this over. Ultimately, staying in a karmic relationship isn't a requirement for spiritual growth. If the dynamic becomes persistently unhealthy, toxic, or abusive, leaving is the ultimate, most important lesson your soul needs to learn. I'm actually going to read that again. Ultimately, when dealing with karmic connections, staying in a karmic relationship isn't a requirement for spiritual growth. If the dynamic becomes persistently unhealthy, toxic, or abusive, leaving is often the most important lesson your soul needs to learn. 552, as I said that. So, I hope that this information was helpful. I'm not going to make this video too long because this week I want to go in discussing each soul contract. So, let me bring a little bit of my personal experience with my lessons in dealing with karmic relationships and connections. What I have found was that in the relationships or either the connections, whether familiar or friendship or partnership based, they had gotten worse as I remained to stay in them or connected to them. They did get worse. I hoped that they would have gotten better. I was hoping and wishing and praying that they would work out for the best, that the person or persons would do their part so that we wouldn't have to part ways, right? Now, that ended up not being the situation. So like what I was saying when I was reading the definition here of what a karmic relationship is or connection is, your goal is to learn the lessons that these connections are teaching you so that you can move on. Learn from them, grow, set your boundaries, and move forward so that the relationship that is meant for you can come in. The whole purpose of this is to learn what we need to learn, like I've said many times before and in the previous videos. Learn what we need to learn, place our boundaries, and move forward, okay, as we encounter each connection. And as you accomplish this task of learning your lessons as each relationship is presented to you. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Okay, that's a piece of my hair and felt like a spider or something. As the universe is bringing in each karmic connection as a means for you to learn from them, and you learn from each connection, you learn your lessons from each one. It's like your way as you're learning and you are moving forward from those connections, 833, as I said that. It's like you are telling the universe that you are ready for whatever it is that they're wanting to present to you. I found that to be true in my personal experience. So as I've learned my lessons with my karmic connections, I've set my boundaries in whatever way I had to set them. Me doing that was me telling the universe, communicating with the universe through my actions that I learned my lessons. I didn't go back to those connections. I honestly do not miss them. I'm peaceful without them. I learned what I needed to learn. I took my notes. I studied very well. And when I was tested, because sometimes those connections will come back around, especially during a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrogrades are known for testing you and allowing something that the universe knew was a true test for you, because you held on tightly to it, so much so to where you knew that it wasn't good for you and you couldn't let it go. You couldn't release it for the life of you, it seemed like. But once you finally decided to make the decision, the universe is like, okay, I'm about to test your ass. I'm about to bring this person back around, or I'm about to bring this opportunity around, or I'm about to whatever. You know, it could show up in many forms, right? When you're tested and you choose 101, as I said that, and you choose not to engage in that, you are proving that you learned your lesson. And however many times the universe feels like they need to test you, and you pass with flying colors each time, then you will be presented with what is truly meant for you and what your heart actually, honestly, purely desires. So this has been actually what I have experienced along my spiritual journey personally. And, like I said, Earth School, right? This place is a school, honey. It's a school, I thought that the naive part of me at that time, before I awakened, and naivety is normal before your awakening, before your initial awakening. So beating ourselves up about being stupid or dumb or, it's just spiritual immaturity, and as 113, as I said, that as we awaken and we learn our lessons and we are taking our notes, we grow spiritually so that we can make better decisions. That's what this whole thing is about. As you go along your journey, you learn. And as you learn, if you are choosing to learn and you're passing your tests as they are presented to you, even if you fail them, the next time, the hope is that you'll pass. And if not, it's a learning curve. So you'll be tested constantly until you learn. And you'll stay stuck with that same lesson, and it'll come through different people. So it'll be different energies that'll test you on the same thing. Opportunities will come and present itself in the same way, but it can be different companies, different bosses, whatever, what have you. But you'll be tested in the same way until you learn. Okay, and then, like I said, you'll be presented with what Spirit wants to give you because they know that you've learned your lesson and you won't sabotage it. Whatever the reward is, they know you won't sabotage it because you learned the lesson. But, I used to think that before I realized Earth was a school, that this was just somewhere I was going to come and I was just going to, enjoy and just work and find me a good job and do what I wanted with the rest of my time. And I'm laughing because I just remember when I sat and thought deeply about all of this, I heard laughter in my mind, and I wasn't the one that laughed. So I'm trying to figure out who on my spirit team laughed, because somebody thought that shit was funny. He was like, you think you're going to come here and do what? You haven't found out or figured out who you really are yet. If you think you're going to come here and do whatever the hell you want to do, and you think that you're just going to be, that this is a playground and you're just going to play all day, every day for the duration of your time here. No. So, like I said, somebody thought it was funny. But now that I'm seeing it for what it really is, yeah, it is no joke, because what I've been placed here to do is, it is no easy feat, as I am currently transitioning through where I am supposed to be eventually. But I'm up for the challenge. And like I said, I'm going to complete my soul contract because I've decided to. But yeah, I just wanted to talk briefly about the karmic contracts. And then tomorrow we'll talk about soulmates. And then on Friday we'll talk about twin flames briefly. And like I said, as we go along this journey together, I'll delve more into things. But I just want us to get as much information as we can about the different things that we're going to experience along this spiritual journey. 144, as I said that. So I hope that this information was useful for at least one of you out there. And I'm really enjoying learning about the soul contracts. This is really cool. I haven't delved into the soul contract chart yet. I think I'm going to look into that next. My battery's already getting low, 151 as I said that. So maybe once I get home, I do have some stuff to do, but we'll look into that too. If we don't get to the soul contract chart until next week, cool. We'll have next week where we can kind of just break that down and look into that. Okay. But I send you all love and peace, and most importantly, healing. Okay. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourselves. Love yourselves. We have to love ourselves first before we can begin to give that love to others and share it. Make sure that you are giving yourself plenty of love. All right? And that you are indulging in your self-care so that you can heal. Okay? In whatever way that may be for you. And I'm not talking about, making decisions that will self-sabotage. And I'm pretty sure that you guys know what those are, as I know what they are for me personally. But I want you guys to have a good rest of your day, night, afternoon, morning, based on wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I will see you guys tomorrow. No, actually, I'll see you guys on Friday because today's Wednesday. So I'll see you guys on Friday. All right? Hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. All right? Love, peace, and grace.